Alright, so we're going to take a look at a really cool and special game, and that is Diabetor and the Sugar Monsters on the Game Boy Game of Color. This came courtesy of Grading Game Studios. I want to thank Spencer, head of the studio, for sending this my way. It's a very, very awesome game and really hits home. It's a game about an unlikely hero that fights against the disease that is diabetes. And it's a pretty cool. I mean, it is a simple game, don't get me wrong, but it's fun and it's educational as well. So let's take a look at what's in the box and take with some gameplay, and I'll get my thoughts on it. Alright, so here's the front of the box. Here's the back of the box. There's Spencer and his family. And then there's some screenshots of the game there. Gives a little blurb about what the game's about. And we open it up, and we've got the actual cartridge. Pretty good. Pretty awesome. The Retro Room and Legend Television do really great work with these physical releases. So pretty cool. I mean, there's a little bit of splitting there, but it's still pretty good. I like it. And then you've got the manual here. Now, the manual's pretty cool and pretty different. So what you normally have with, I mean, yeah, you have the controls here, obviously, but you have a message from Spencer, talking about his struggle with the disease. But then you've got some really cool recipes here, and he gives where we got them from. But I mean, look at these. These are diabetic friendly recipes. Yeah, some of them are keto friendly, but yeah, pretty cool. There's actual recipes in here. It's pretty awesome. Definitely something you see every day in a video game manual. So pretty awesome that that's included in there. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and pop the cartridge once I put the booklet away. Come on. Okay. All right, so put this away. I pop the cartridge into my Game Boy and use my Kirby Game Boy. And I'm going to change the camera. Hang on. Okay, so here's the game in action. I got to focus. I was having an issue focusing, so I had to do this over again. So welcome to the first level. Grab the insulin vials to upgrade the insulator's shooter. Avoid the sugar monsters to keep your blood sugar in range. Check your blood sugar meter. Check your blood sugar meter often to ensure you stay in range. Check out signs along the way for important information. So here you've got the insulator. You've got a B button to jump, A button to shoot your insulin. You have the sugar meter up here. This is how much, the more damage you take, the more sugar you'll end up accumulating. So this is a action platformer. Again, it's very simplistic in the way that it plays, but it definitely does have a bit of a charm, and it is a fun educational game to play. So I'm going to go to the sign here. We're going to read the sign here real quick. Welcome to the first level. Collect the insulin to reload your ammo and use it against the evil sugar monsters. Do your best to keep your blood sugar below 150. That is your first encounter with a sugar monster. Avoid sugar monsters to keep your blood sugar below 150. Again, this game is very simple. But there's just a lot of charm to its simplistic nature. So essentially you go through each level, right? Killing the sugar monsters with your insulin. Normal blood sugar is possible. And then when you get to the end of a level, you then have a question you have to answer before you can proceed to the boss, which is pretty cool. That's where the educational side of things come to play. But over the boss ahead, he is made of sugar. Sugar is bad for you. To defeat the boss, you must aim for the head. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. It's not the boss. It's the next stage. I forgot about that. So, get the donut. We did it. In order to open this door, you must first answer the question correctly. Ready? And ready? Yes, ready. Which vegetables are considered low carb? Broccoli, cauliflower, cucumbers, or all of the above. Now, what's cool about these questions is you don't have to get them right. You don't have to know the answers to the questions to proceed through the game. It's just a means to educate you on the disease, and just kind of make you aware. So we're gonna go ahead and pick broccoli. Try again. You just keep going. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and it should be all of them. Yep, that was correct. Just because a food says no carbs doesn't mean you don't need to take insulin. Protein can raise your blood sugar too, so make sure to count the amount of protein just like you would count carbs. And that's really the game. I mean, it just gives you educational tips in relation to diabetes, blood glucose, things of that nature. And talks about A1C. It's a pretty cool little game. So if you have a diabetic in your life, either type 1 or type 2, and they're into video games, this is a game to consider getting. It's a very fun and educational game. It's a very simple game. It's easy to pick up, and easy to pick up and play for a couple minutes and learn something. Now, this game reminds me of the game that came out a long time ago called Captain Novolin, and it was the Novolin Insulin company, I think, that brought out the game, and they kind of did the same thing, but theirs was geared towards their own brand, whereas this game is pretty much more of a generic stance on the disease, and I think does a great job, especially in this day and age. Now that we know as much as we do, though we don't know everything and we don't have a cure for it, but this kind of it sheds light on a disease that you may know about, but you may not know enough. You may not. It's a good game. It's a fun educational game for sure. During this boss, the key is falling. Or the sky is falling. The sky is falling. Wow, I can speak. Okay, so I think he's dropping candy. I think it's a candy monster. First couple times I went through this, I was like, what is that thing? But then I think I figured it out. It's a candy. Okay. I'm ready to answer the question. Which food has the highest glycemic index? I'm going to go with, I think it's baked potato. I was right. But the colors are great. The music's neat. The graphics are good. Is this the best game? No, it's not. It does have its issues, it does have its quirks. It does have a few bugs here and there, graphical imperfections. But as far as a educational piece of I was gonna say art, but as an educational game, it does a really great job of driving home the importance of what to look for when it comes to diabetes. And if you do have diabetes, what to be aware of. But by no means is this a end all be all. This is simply to give you tidbits, little bits and pieces of the disease, and little bits of tips, if you will, if you do have the disease or have family members that have the disease. It's just a little bit about it. Just a little bit of insight, a glimpse, a sliver into what it's all about. This is by no means medical advice. This is by no means a definitive guide to the disease. It is just a fun and interactive way to kind of get introduced to it and kind of have a little bit, a tiny bit of a better understanding of the disease itself. And yeah, so this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool game, and definitely want to recommend. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, so let's look at Diabetor and the Sugar Monsters on Game Boy Color. Wonderful game. And as I said earlier, this is not a end-all be-all. This is not a expert take, an interactive expert take on the game by any means. This is one individual expressing how the game touched them in a very fun and interactive way, and that's a good way to make people aware and to kind of, I guess, cope with having to deal with it. And that's as much as I'm going to say on it. I really enjoyed this game. I had a lot of fun with it. It is a really good game. So if you have a game in your life that has been touched by this disease, this is worth picking up. It's fun, it's educational, and it's a good game. Yes, it does have its quirks, but it's definitely worth picking up. So I want to thank you very much again, Spencer, for sending this my way. Wonderful game. Really, really good game. And thank you to the Retro Room and Budget Nostalgia for giving us this phenomenal physical release, tangible release of this game. It is just, it's a good game. I had no idea these guys did this. So, very happy to have this in my collection. And again, if you have anybody that's been touched by this disease and they're a gamer, get this for them. It's great. And it'll be a reason to get a Game Boy and get all of the other awesome games available for it as well. So, again, I want to thank Spencer for sending this my way. Thank you, Retro Room. Thank you, Budget Nostalgia. It's great. So, I will leave a link to get the game in the description down below, so I always do these releases. I do not believe, I won't say that. I don't know if the physical release is still available, but if it is, pick it up. It's great. I will thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. As always, until next time, take care and happy gaming.